Hey everyone, welcome back. Thought I'd bring you along on this. This is going to be kind of fun today, I think. I've been working on this new project for quite a while here, and I'm slowly getting it put together. I'm building a vise stand for my home-built DIY vise that I built 5 or 6 months ago. I'm finally putting it on a stand and covering a lot of new ground that I've never really touched on before. So what I've got to do here, I've got a 1/4-inch piece of plate. I ground off the meal scale on it, and this will fit on the bottom or the top of the stand, and the bottom of the vise bolts to this piece. And then a piece of drill pipe here, about a 3-inch drill pipe, about a 1/4-inch thick. I don't know the actual gauge, I'm no pipe welder, but I think it's about a 1/4-inch thick, same as the plate there. And then this is going to get welded to the top of that plate. This whole thing will turn upside down and be mounted to the base that I built. And then I've got some 3/16-inch gussets that I'll be welding on the side of that as well. And I'm just going back and practicing some of these weld processes that I haven't done for quite some time. And I just recently discovered through my last fabrication project, building the base, that this YesWelder MIG 250 Pro has a pretty good stick welding function. It's got hot start, anti-stick, dig, and I think it does really good with stick welding or MMA welding. So I'm gonna use these 6013 rods. The only thing I've got left, I'm just about out of these too. Need to pick up some new rods here one of these days. But I think I've got about enough to do it. 1/8-inch 6013 rods. I'm going to run them on DC electrode positive. And the first time I've ever stick weld around a base of a pipe or anything like that. So I'm going to see if I can get a decent stick weld all the way around the base of this pipe to weld that plate to this 1/4-inch pipe. So that should be kind of fun. I thought you guys might like to see that. I'm going to get this tack welded on there and squared up, and then try to lay these beads in there, and I'll show you guys how it goes. Welding around a circular object can be a challenge if you haven't done a lot of it, which I have not. But it should be a whole lot of fun. And if it's terrible or horrible and doesn't work out, then I will probably grind it. Good thing I have some grinders. I'll grind it out and maybe MIG weld it. So let me get set up for this. We'll get this tack welded in place. I'll do my best to get it as straight as I possibly can and as square with the tack welds. And then we'll get started on that weld. The first two welds did pretty good. I'm way too cold here at the beginning of this one. I think it might have gone just too fast. Got some slag inclusion underneath the bottom and not real good along the toe over here. So I'm gonna see if I can make it look a little better than what it does. I'll grind that down and redo it. We'll see what I can do. Hopefully I don't make it worse. It came out pretty nice for being a rookie, and I'm no pipe welder. I do have some pretty good clumps of weld that stuck right at the beginning. I noticed that the hot start works pretty darn good on this machine. I probably had it turned up too high. I had it set on 6 for the hot start, and I was able to salvage this section over here that I kind of messed up. It's a little bit wider than the rest because I ground it out a little bit, but I'm going to clean up those big heavy pieces of weld that stuck to the plate there, clean that up with the grinder, and then hit this with the wire wheel, and we'll have a final look at it. I don't think it's going to fall off there anytime soon. And I got some practice doing that. I've never done pipe like that before, so that was kind of fun to try to figure that out. If you got tips for me, drop them down in the comments. I'd be happy to read them, but let me get this cleaned up and we'll come back and take a last look at it. All right, here's a look at the final product after I cleaned it all up. Like I said, I'm no pipe welder, but for a DIYer garage welder, I think it'll do the job. It came out pretty decent, I think. Like I said, if you've got tips for me, you know a whole lot more about pipe welding than I do. Drop them down in the comments. Last thing I need to do is get these cut to shape, grind the corners off, and I'm going to put 2 of these, one there and one over in the corner there. And I may just MIG weld those on. I'm just about out of those 6013 rods, and I still want to weld the pipe to the base just like I did here. So that's stick welding with the YesWelder MIG 250 Pro. I think it does a pretty good job. Let me know what you think.